It's a neon bat because I decorate with bats. Hello, I'm Kristen, also known as Voolenvine, here on my YouTube channel, on Instagram, on Ravelry, and pretty much everywhere else on the interwebs. And as always, I'm so happy that you're taking some time out of your day to chat about all the knitting, all the sewing, all the making, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down this week. And yes, I took another week off last week from podcasting. I had quite a bit of work to catch up on, so unfortunately I had to miss out on recording a new episode for you guys. I apologize. Thank you so much for your patience. I'm back this week, although I did take off some much needed time from work this week. So I, got a lot of sewing done. I got a lot of making. I have a finished object to share with you. So I hope it was worth the wait. So before I get into that, just a couple of announcements. And then we have knit-alongs that are happening, year-long knit-alongs. So we have the Box of Socks knit-along. There's the Year of the Garment knit-along, make-along that's happening over in the Voolenvine Ravelry group. So if any of those titles strike your fancy, hop on over to the Voolenvine Ravelry group. As always, it's the place to be if you want to chat about the podcast, the YouTube channel, have questions, share your makes, or partake in any of these said make-alongs. It's a really, really fun, inspiring place to be, so definitely check that out. But we are currently in the throes of our I cannot talk today, guys. We are currently in the throes of our Practical, which is a 6-month make-along where you make anything that is practical for your wardrobe. Sounds boring, but this is something that I had to self-impose upon myself because I kept wanting to make all the swanny things, all the flashy things, which I am all for. Just, things that you can prance around and feel extra special and extra fancy, a little bit extra in, but I am kind of pseudo double dipping into Tommy of the Squirrel Pie Productions podcast. She's hosting the Flashy Cal, and then and Gabby from the Once Upon a Corgi podcast, she is hosting the Swan Along podcast. So in addition to partaking in my own Practical, where you make all things practical for your wardrobe, I'm also double dipping into their fancy schmancy make-alongs as well. So anyway, I thought I'd give them a little plug in case, you want to dip your toes into a couple of different areas when it comes to make-alongs. But yeah, my Practical is all just about making things that you're going to want to reach for on a regular basis that go with a lot of things in your wardrobe and the like. And again, you can get all the information for these make-alongs over in the Voolenvine Ravelry group. All the guidelines, deadlines, and yeah, the Practical is coming to an end in March of 2020. So you still have plenty of time. And you still have plenty of time for the Box of Socks and the Year of the Garment Cal, because yeah, that does not end until January 1st of 2020. Yeah, so all right, I think that is it for, no, I have one more special, super extra special announcement. But the other big announcement that I have is that Voolenvine Yarns, my hand-dyed yarn company, is coming up on 5 years. 5 years in business, 5 years since I left my day job to start hand-dyeing yarn full-time, and it's been a crazy ride, you guys. So I am so stoked that we made it to 5 years, and it's still exciting, and I still love doing what I do, and I'm super grateful for all of my customers, my viewers, you guys who've supported me along the way and cheered me on, and you guys, it just means so much. So I am planning a very, very special giveaway. Next week I'm going to announce the prize, and then the week after Rhinebeck at the end of October, I'm going to choose a winner. More details to come, but just to give you guys a heads up, I'm going to do a very special giveaway for that. And I'm trying to think if I want to do a Q&A episode or maybe a live stream. I don't know. I've been kind of wanting to try dipping my toes into live streaming, just like occasional live episodes, because they seem a lot of fun. I mean, although it kind of freaks me out to be on the spot like that, unscripted, and not that this is scripted, but it's like I have show notes, everything's planned out and everything, just to kind of be very live, candid, and on the spot kind of freaks me out just a little bit. But I think I can, you know, I'm not going to knock it until I try it. So I think it'll be something, I don't know, let me know what you guys think. Would you want like a Q&A episode for the 5-year anniversary of Voolenvine Yarns, or a live stream? Let me know in the comments down below, and I will see, you know, I'll plan something fun out for that. But I will keep you posted on Instagram, on in the Voolenvine Yarns Ravelry group. You know, obviously next week I'll give you the lowdown of what's happening. But yeah, just to give you guys a little heads up about that. So yes, okay. Without further ado, I feel like I've rambled on in the intro for way too long. What I've been making. But first, just a quick word from my lovely and amazing sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of classes in design, business, tech, and more, even sewing and the fiber arts. I love learning new things when it comes to knitting, sewing, photography, or whatever crafty rabbit hole I happen to be diving down. And because I know you love learning new things too, I partnered up with Skillshare, and they are offering my viewers 2 months free to try their platform. So give Skillshare a go and learn something new. Just click on the link in the description box below, entering the code at checkout, and enjoy. And thanks, Skillshare. And welcome back. All right, as for what I've been making this week, but first I forgot to point out my Halloween decoration. It's a neon bat, because I decorate with bats, and I could not resist, you guys. It's Halloween. It is my holiday. It is my season. It's my most favorite time of year, and you know, once Halloween is nigh, I just go all out crazy decorating for Halloween, more so than Christmas, I will say. But anyway, some Halloween ambiance for you guys in the meantime. But yeah, finished objects, guys. Elephant in the room. I am wearing my finished Mazzy cardigan, and I am so in love with it, you guys. It's finally off the needles. Ugh, I love it so much. This is a pattern by Elizabeth Smith, and it is a long-ish cardigan. Yes. You're probably not going to be able to see much detail because it is black, or like a tweedy black yarn. The yarn is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter in their cast iron colorway, and it is so scrummy and squishy and squidgy. I love it. I love it. And it's, you know, it keeps me super warm, but it's also super light at the same time. It's not heavy. It doesn't weigh me down. And it has pockets in here, little tiny pockets, and I love it. Yeah, because what's a cardigan without pockets? And the cool thing is, like, the back has like this kind of scrunched up neck shaping in the back going on, and it's just the coziest thing ever. And again, this is my first entry into the practical knit along, make along, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, this is gonna get so much wear. I'm a little afraid it's just gonna start pilling up and balling before the month's over, basically. But at least it will get a lot of love from me. So, you know, that's the whole point. Yeah, and it's finally done. I think this took me a little bit over 2 months to knit. I'm blanking on when I cast this on. It feels like forever and a day since I cast it on. But yeah, anyway, it's done, and it's so cozy, and I'm trying to think what I want to say about it. Last time I recorded, I mentioned that I accidentally forgot to switch to the larger needle size after knitting the ribbing for the cuff on one of the sleeves, and honestly, I really can't tell. It really didn't make that much of a difference. I mean, if I had to guess, I really can't tell which sleeve had the smaller needle size. So that worked out in my favor very well. So yeah, it fits like a glove, and I can wear it out. It goes with everything in my wardrobe, and it's like a warm hug. It's a warm hug, you guys. I highly recommend this pattern. Super simple make. It's conversational too, so if you're getting together with friends. I mean, even this kind of mock twist rib on the edge, super mindless. It's over in like a flash, so it's nothing to, you know, freak out about or anything. Or, you know, if you are a newbie knitter or new to cables, this is really good. A really good way to dip your toes into cables, because it's not really even a cable stitch. It's just, you know, you're switching 2 stitches. It's a super simple technique to easily twist 2 stitches around. So, you know, she gives you directions and everything. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about this pattern at all. Very well written, and yeah, I mean, I could totally see myself making another, maybe in like a lighter gray, or who knows. Incredibly versatile. I definitely want to check out some of her other patterns, because it seems like her aesthetic kind of is in line with my style. So Yeah, that's my Mazzy cardigan, you guys. End of a journey. I don't know why that word journey is just such a pet peeve of mine. I hate using it, like, my journey. It's very, I don't know, it suits certain situations, but sometimes I just feel like I try to avoid using it just because, I don't know, I feel like it's just a little saccharine for me. I don't know, whatever. My own personal brand of crazy. But yeah, end of a knitting journey. We are done with the Mazzy cardigan and on to other things. So yeah, I'm trying to think what else I can possibly say about this cardigan other than love it 100%. It's amazing. It's great. It's great. It's wonderful. Yeah. All right. On to works in progress. Actually, I am going to take it off because it is getting a little toasty in here. Yeah, it's just a little bit toasty. So as I mentioned last week, I cast on a Rhinebeck sweater. Now most of you watching were probably like, yeah, Kristen, you're not going to finish that in time for Rhinebeck. And I know. I'm not finishing it in time for Rhinebeck, but I cast on the Nightingale pullover, a pattern by Nora Gon from Pom Pom magazine, Pom Pom Quarterly. But yeah, I'm assuming this is from either fall or winter of 2018. So I cast it on. I showed you the yarn last time I recorded, and that is, I am using Quince & Co. Lark. That arrived when I was recording, and again, I cast on, and here is where I am. Yeah, and this is the Damson colorway, which is kind of like this kind of like smoky purple, dark mauve color. So it makes my heart sing so much. But yeah, the plan was to have this done by Rhinebeck. It is not happening. I barely got to work on it all week. And you know, I'm still working my way up the back panel chart. I'm not even done with half the page of the chart. But I'm almost, and then I get to start the top of the chart. Anyway, not making any sense. But yeah, I'm still working my way up the back, and then I have to knit the chart again for the front, and then sleeves, puff sleeves, and then seam everything together. That is not happening in a week and a half, my friends. But yeah, here we are. And I did swatch. I swatched with the recommended needle size. My gauge turned out way too big, so I went down a needle size, all the way down to, yeah, a US size. I believe this is a US size 6 4mm needle. And Brooklyn, again, is alive and kicking with sirens, as always. So yeah, but anyway, yeah, here's where I am on my Nightingale. And again, it seems super complex, super intricate, but it's actually very relaxing. And yeah, the cables aren't insane. I mean, it's, yes, you have to pay attention to the chart. You know, yes, it's, you know, very involved, but you know, if you take one row at a time, you just focus on that one row and it's over super quick, you know? And then the back is pretty much just knit all the knit stitches, purl all the purl stitches, and Bob's your uncle. So yeah, aside from not having it done by Rhinebeck, I am thoroughly enjoying this knit so far. It's one of those things I think I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to enjoy the make. I'm not going to rush it because this is going to be a very, very special sweater. Yeah, one that I hope that I'm going to get a lot of wear out of. And because it's, you know, a relatively advanced knit, you know, I want to enjoy the process, not rush myself, if that makes sense. So yeah, there's my Nightingale. Hopefully I'll have more progress to show you next week. But yeah, there we go. And that is all the works in progress that I have to share with you this week. I am actually working on a new hat pattern. New hat design, because the weather is getting chillier and I am kind of in the market for a new hat. I do love, last year I knit up a twisted knots hat by Justina Larowska, which I got so much wear out of that hat, but something about the fit, like, it looks great, but I don't think there's enough elasticity in the ribbing. It must be a combination of the pattern and the yarn that I used. I used what is it? The Fiberco Acadia, which is another yarn that I absolutely love. So while I love the pattern, I loved working with the yarn, at the end of the day, I don't think the pattern suited the yarn and the yarn did not suit the pattern. So it has a hard time staying on my head, if that makes sense. So I do love that hat, but I think I need to knit something else that is actually going to stay on my head, and something that's a little bit warmer, because that yarn, It does have alpaca content in it, but it didn't really, I don't, for some reason it wasn't keeping my head as warm as I would have liked to. So anyway, more details on that next time, or if you watch my Instagram, I'm sure I'll pop a photo of it when I'm done. But yeah, I'm also trying to start doing more design. This is just a goal that I'm setting for myself because I really do enjoy designing patterns, knitting patterns. And, you know, so I definitely want to work that more into my workflow, if that makes sense. So yeah, be on the lookout. I'm working on some more patterns for you guys. And speaking of design, my Stoker shawl is going to be published on Friday. So by the time you're watching this, hopefully it will already be up to purchase on Ravelry and through my website, voolenvineyarns.com, which I should mention that now my knitting patterns are also available to purchase through my website, voolenvineyarns.com. Although I will say that if you would like to add any of my patterns to your Ravelry libraries, you will have to purchase it through Ravelry. So if you do purchase a pattern through my website, it will not be added to your Ravelry library. You're gonna have to purchase it again through Ravelry. So just a little heads up about that. Also, a super big thank you to all of my wonderful test knitters and my tech editor. You guys are amazing and super fast, dare I say. Yeah, you guys just power through, like, seriously, this shawl can be knit within a week. It's crazy. It just knits up super fast. So anyway, thank you so much for all your speedy knitting, your helpful feedback, and apologies for all my mathematical blunders. And seriously, like, when you get the feedback back from your test knitters and tech editor, it's like, I have to, like, where the heck was my mind when I wrote that sentence or that direction? It's seriously. Anyway, that's why we have test knitters and tech editors, I guess, so they can point out all of our wonderful shortcomings when it comes to design. But anyway, yeah, they are totally invaluable, and I am so grateful to have had them test knit and work on it. So you guys are lovely, and I love you. Yeah, so yes, anyway, this pattern, Stoker, will be released on Friday. I'm not sure what time, but, you know, watch my Instagram, watch Ravelry, and, you know, you should be notified about when it's up and going. And I wasn't going to have a shop update this week because, I took some time off this week to just clear the decks, if you will. But I realized since the pattern will be released on Friday, I should probably dye up some kits. And I do have some time today and tomorrow to do that. So yes, I will be having a shop update tomorrow, Friday, October 11th, I want to say. I'll pop it in the down bar. But yeah, if you would like a kit, kits will be sold as 4 skeins of Voolenvine Yarns Smitten DK, which is a merino nylon cashmere blend. Again, I'll link to the project page below so you can see all the yardage and the gauge and what have you, needle sizes. But yeah, the yarn, again, was knit out of my hand-dyed yarn, Smitten DK, I called it the fig colorway when it was a strange brew, but since I am going to make it a shop regular, I figured I would just rename it as Stoker since it goes hand in hand with the shawl that's also named Stoker. So yeah, see what I did there? That will pretty much be the only thing available in the shop this Friday. So if you are interested in knitting it, check it out. And as always, if you'd like to be notified about what you know, more details about the kits and in the future about shop updates, what colorways and bases are going to be in store, you can always sign up for my newsletter by going to voolenvineyarns.com, clicking on the newsletter link and entering your info there, and you'll automatically be signed up to get my newsletter every week. So yeah, Stoker! I'm super excited about it. So hope you guys are too, and thank you for those to everyone for all the awesome feedback about it. I'm just so excited about it. So yeah, all right, that is the knitting content for this week. Shall we move along to sewing? That wasn't even a question, that was like a question statement. Shall we move along to sewing? Anyway, rare form today, guys. Elephant in the room. I am wearing a camisole that I made. Again, I took some time off this week and I made all the things. So I made an ensemble, so to speak, an ensemble outfit, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, the first thing that I am wearing is the Savannah camisole by Seamwork. And I was a little apprehensive about making this, but it's been on my to make list for eons and eons, and I was kind of on the prowl for a new camisole type thing to wear with some lacy bits. This was such a great pattern, you guys. This was supposed to be a muslin, but it's actually turning out to be a wearable muslin. But I will stand up so you can see it. And I did do a small bust adjustment, guys. And this is basically just cotton lawn that I had in my stash and some gray cotton lace trimming. And yeah, I have to say I finally nailed the small bust adjustment, guys, and totally mind-blowing. I don't know why I've been struggling to do a small bust adjustment in the past. It just seemed so complicated, and once you just kind of once you get the gist of it and you wrap your brain around it, it's like, why did I think this was so difficult? Like, now that I know how to do it, I just want to small bust adjust all the things, all the patterns. Like, does this pattern need a small bust adjustment? Give it to me, I'll fix it. Yeah, it's just, they're actually really fun to do. So who knew? But yeah, so I did that to this, and what a small bust adjustment is when you get a pattern, patterns are drafted for, I'm guessing that, you know, depending on the pattern company, you know, be it a big 5 pattern company or an indie company, they have a standard sizing. Each one has like their own method of sizing patterns or drafting patterns. And some patterns give you different cup sizes and some only use 1 cup size. And, you know, once you figure out the cup size for that pattern, you know, if it differs from your cup size and they don't offer alternate cup sizes, you have to either do a full bust adjustment or a small bust adjustment. So this pattern is drafted for a C cup. I am an A cup. So after doing math, I figured out that I had to take out 1 inch of fabric between cup sizes. So once you figure out how much fabric you have to take out, you have to pinpoint where the apex is on the pattern, which can be a little tricky, but once you do, you just draw a whole bunch of lines, cut those lines, and then do a little finagling and tape it all down, and you've done your bust adjustment. Yeah, so anyway, it sounds a lot more complicated than it is. Again, I will link to some really awesome tutorials to help you explain it, but suddenly fitting patterns is not that daunting anymore. It's just like, once, I don't know, I just feel so much more empowered now that I know how to do that, if that makes sense. So anyway, I'm totally rambling, but yeah, it worked out really, really well. This fits like a glove. Anyway, the only other modification that I did is I took out 1/8 of an inch on either side of the seams, because the finished garment bust size is, I believe, was like a 33 and I'm a 32. So, you know, because there are, you know, 2 seams on either side, 1/8 of an inch plus 1/8 of an inch is a 1/4 of an inch, and to do that on the other side, 1/4 of an inch plus another 1/4 of an inch is 1/2 an inch. So I didn't want it to be like super tight on me. I wanted a little bit of wiggle room, so it all worked out. So with the small bust adjustment and taking off that, you know, truing up those sides on the side seams, it all just panned out. And you guys, I'm in love. I want to make so many more of these because, yeah, I've been wearing this to death. I think it's time for a wash. But anyway, that is my first make. The second make that I whipped up yesterday, I don't know if you caught a glimpse of it, but I made another Lizzie skirt, you guys. This is my Halloween skirt, and I did modify it. So I used the pattern, the Lizzie skirt pattern by Sew Over It. I used the waistband and the invisible zipper instructions to do, you know, the invisible zipper. It has pockets, of course, so I'll try and pop some photos in the side so you can see what this looks like in all its glory. And the only other modification that I did was I just cut out 2 big rectangles because the actual pattern pieces for the Lizzie skirt wouldn't fit on the 45-inch width fabric that I had. So I just, you know, I just made extra gathers. I just cut out 2 rectangles the same length. So those pretended like they were the actual pattern pieces, did inseam pockets, and then did massive gathers all around, and it worked out. It worked out great. The fabric is by Cotton and Steel. Unfortunately, I don't think Cotton and Steel is making any new, I think they're defunct now. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with them, but they're not producing any more prints or fabrics anymore. But fabric.com still does have a lot of their fabrics in stock, and they have quite a bit left over of this. So I'm trying to stand up so you can see, but it's I don't know if you can see this, but It's a graveyard scene, you guys. It has little metallic ghosts with haunted Victorian dresses and gravestones with black cats, haunted mansions, and yeah, it's just subtly Halloween. And I love it. I love this pattern. I love this skirt so much, you guys. I think I'm gonna just wear it all through winter because it's just so fun and goes with a lot of stuff in my wardrobe. But yeah, again, they still have quite a lot of it left in stock, so you know, it's there if you want it. And again, I am actually now an affiliate for fabric.com because I shop there all the time. It's pretty much the only online fabric shop that I shop at, so it just, why not? Yeah, so links to where you can get this fabric on fabric.com. Yeah, and it just, this is such a go-to, like I love this pattern so much because it is so versatile. It's go-to, you can tweak it and modify it and hack it. It's awesome. So yeah, this is my little outfit. Halloween is coming up. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I have no idea. I do have an idea of what I'm going to go as for Halloween. I don't know why I said I didn't, because I do. Absolutely do. I am going to wear my corset that I'm pretty much done with the corset. Let me go get it. I'm pretty much done with the corset. I just have to add some I just have to add more flossing. I don't know if you can see it on the bottom, but these little floss bits right here, these little white triangle thingies. Yeah, so basically the flossing keeps the boning in place so that it doesn't shift around or poke through the fabric, and it just adds like a nice little decorative touch to the overall look of the corset. So I don't know, I might, because this is my first rodeo when it comes to sewing corsets, the boning channels don't exactly line up where they should be lining up, so I think I might just rip out the flossing and forgo the flossing for this round, but I think I might use this as my Halloween costume in addition to making this to go underneath it. And you're not gonna, the plastic is making a reflection. So if you guys follow Bernadette Banner and Cathy Hay on Instagram, well, Bernadette Banner, they both have their own YouTube channels, but Bernadette Banner has more of like a tutorial how-to sewing, you know, like sew-along vlog type format. And Cathy Hay just, you know, well, she also has a YouTube channel. She's mostly like really awesome to watch if, you know, you're just dipping your toes into sewing or into historical fashion. She has like a lot of motivational sewing tips, you know, to just, you know, tackle all your projects and all that type of thing. It's really, I love her. She's great. But anyway, they both recently attended Costume College this past month, and I loved the costumes that they wore like the first night. It was just them in their corsets and Edwardian Underthings, and I thought, how cool would that be to go as for Halloween? Yeah, and it's by no means historically accurate, but I'm gonna be wearing, if I can make it happen, the corset over this. And this is a pattern by Folkwear, and they I don't know, they just kind of, they have patterns that kind of allow you to recreate historical attire, basically. So, and this is like their Edwardian Underthings pattern. So I might make the shorts. So, you know, it's like I'm just going out in my underwear basically for Halloween, historical style. So this should be really interesting to make. I have the fabric, I have some lace. I think I can make it happen. So maybe that'll be my project for the weekend, to make my Halloween costume. But, you know, yeah, I'll pop a link to their Instagram feeds if you want to check it out. So those are my potential Halloween costume plans. I mean, I might as well, you know. We don't have anywhere in particular to go for Halloween, although Dennis's friend is DJing at this one bar for on Halloween night, so I think that will be our plans for Halloween. And true to form, Dennis still does not know what he wants to be for Halloween. He says he'll come up with it last minute, as he usually does, but I told him don't expect me to make him a Halloween costume the day of, because that's just not, I can't do it. I can't do it. Even though I've been doing it for like the past 3-4 years, I might as well just, you know, keep tradition. But anyway, I'm rambling at this point, guys. I think that I have some more makes that I want to share with you, but I think I'll hold off until another episode to share them with you. So, because yeah, this is already going on for way too long, and I'm quite rambly this episode. I don't know why. I guess I'm just hopped up on a lot of caffeine as usual, but Hey. So I already talked shop update. I am going to move right along into the Blather segment, the segment where I chat about what's been happening in my life, should you care to stick around. So yeah, as I mentioned, I took off this week, although I still did work. It didn't feel like a true vacation because I was still working on my pattern. I cast on a new pattern or started designing a new pattern, had to fulfill orders, answering emails, and it just, but I think where it came down to vacation is I didn't dye any yarn. So yeah, one week, I'm just gonna, maybe after Rhinebeck, I'm just gonna do absolutely nothing. I keep telling myself that and I never do it, but I need to do it. I really do, guys. But no, it was really nice just to kind of, just do all the admin stuff and just take it easy, let my body rest, and just basically check out the rest of the day. So that was really nice. And I got a lot done, guys. I got a lot of sewing done. I finished my cardigan. It was great. So anyway, what else did I do? I finished listening to the second book of the I think it's like Folk of the Air series by Holly Black. Yeah, Holly Black. She wrote The Cruel Prince, and then the second book after that is The Wicked King. And there's another book in the series, the third book coming out, that's called The Queen of Nothing, but that's not coming out until November. So that's the beauty of being a late adopter to book series, because it's like, all the books are already there and you can just binge right through them. I will say I enjoyed it. It held my attention, and I'm looking forward to the third book to finding out what happens. But at the same time, I was just like, meh. I mean, if you guys read the Court of Thorns and Roses series, which I'm still having a hangover from, I cannot find anything to replace A Court of Thorns and Roses in my heart and soul. It's just like such a good series. I don't think anything can top it at this point. It's my favorite book. I mean, favorite series of all time. Yeah, so I'm still holding out, looking for another book that I can just go all crazy about. But anyway, yeah, so I did enjoy The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King. Again, it held my attention. It was entertaining, but at the same time, I'm just meh. I mean, I guess in this book, the love interest, I guess you could call it. I don't know. No spoilers or anything, but if you read A Court of Thorns and Roses, and Tamlin's character, I think Cardigan and Tamlin, they deserve each other. I don't know. If they were to meet in real life, I don't know what would happen. But yeah, they just seem like there's a special place for them in fairyland for characters like that. But anyway, that's my thought on that series. But yeah, if you are into fae, folklore, fantasy, romance, action, definitely give it a listen to. I know a couple of people said, if I want to get the whole full world building of that series, I have to read a couple of her other past books, which, I think after Queen of Nothing, I might backtrack and, check out some of her other books. But I know I do want to check out Six of Crows. Gabby from Once Upon a Corgi highly recommended that book, so I'm going to give that one a try. But another podcast that I just stumbled on, because again, the Court of Thorns and the ACOTAR hangover is still real. I tried looking for podcasts about the book or whatever, and I stumbled on this one podcast called Heaving, Bosoms. I know the name is hilarious, but if you guys like or have heard of My Favorite Murder, I want to say it's like My Favorite Murder, but for romance novels. So totally right up my alley. I will be totally honest. I'm not that much into true crime, murder mystery novels. It's just not my bag. I'm hardcore into romance novels. That's what I do. That's what I love. It's fluff, it's light, and it keeps me entertained while I work. So yeah, I'm all about that. But yeah, I really, really enjoyed listening to them. They did a whole, well, they didn't do the last book, but they did Court of Thorns and Roses, and they did A Court of Mist and Fury. They did a whole recap, their take on the book, and they're just I can't remember their names, but they're super funny. They just, talk about what they thought of the book and, tell you what happened. So lots of spoilers. So if you are not familiar with the series, I don't recommend you listen to it, those episodes yet. But if you are into romance, they do cover a bunch of other novels as well, which I haven't listened to their other podcasts because I want to read a couple of the books that they've covered so I can go back and listen to them. I don't know about you guys, but I love hearing commentary from other people. Like after I'm done reading a book, I love listening to or watching other podcasts with people talking about it. So it kind of like validates my own reaction to what I read, or it kind of puts a twist or spin on my own reaction or take on a book. You know, and it kind of, you know, it makes me think like, oh, I didn't think of that when I read it, or oh, that's interesting. So anyway, if you guys are into that type of thing, links below. And I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I think that is it for this week, guys. I don't know why this episode seemed super rambly. I guess because I missed a week and I have a lot to catch you up. I had a lot to catch you up on. So I wanted to make sure I got it all in there. So yeah, I will be back next week, next Friday, with a new episode for you guys. Again, I will announce the prize and you know, more info on my Voolenvine Yarns 5th anniversary celebration, I guess you want to call it. I am actually going to come out with a special colorway to celebrate 5 years of Voolenvine Yarns too. So again, sign up for the newsletter. All the details about kits, colorways, and all that are in there. So definitely check that out. And yeah, all right. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me this week. And if you enjoyed, feel free to like and subscribe below. I put out an episode every Friday. And yeah, that's it. Happy knitting, happy making, happy sewing, and I will see you next time. Bye!